everyone, welcome to the Monday Night Fireside Chat. Tonight's topic is, dun, da, 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 how are your seedlings doing? All right, and so far I'm the only one up here. I put out the link there to a few others, so we'll see if anybody shows up around here. It's been a hectic day. I was late getting the link set up for this to begin with because I had grandsons over here, 3 of them. The youngest 3 running around, driving me nuts. What are they into now? It's too quiet. Where are they? Yeah. Well, let's see who all's in here. And let's go back up here. And let's see. First one in was Alicia. Hey, Alicia. And then we got CR came in. That's Creative Redundancy from north of the border. Hugo Homestead came in next. Hey, CB. And that was before I went live. People coming in early. And Kaylin Strain is here. Welcome, Kaylin. King Poopa is in the house. Hey, Dustin. Nate Mitch is here. Lewis is here. Homestead, where you are. Hey, how's it going? Scroll on down here. See anybody else new coming in here. Howie at Food Forest Permaculture is in the house. Woohoo! And Jay is here. Hey, Jay. Just scrolling down here, trying to keep up. Everybody's talking. I love it. Everybody's just talking great. Cool. Down to the bottom there. All righty. So, all right. So what's the plan tonight? Just kind of a more relaxing kickback, talk about what's going on. That's why I was wanting to have some stuff here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this up here for some of my there we go. There you go, CR and Howie. If you guys want to come up, there's the link there. Dustin, you two, go ahead. Boot Courtney off the computer, move in there, just take it over. Cool. CR's got more seeds started today and some sprouting too. Great. And yeah, it's excuse me. Yeah. I think I may have caught something from the grandkids again. So, yeah, 2 of them were over here yesterday and for a couple of hours, and then I had 3 of them over here today for about 3 hours. So, and the littlest one, the youngest one, you know, it's like I'm walking around with a package of toilet paper in my hand because, hey, his nose was running. So I'm between wiping his nose and washing my hands and wiping his nose and washing my hands. But, oh, and for my backdrop, this is my indoor garden. For those of you who haven't seen the videos on it, I just took that this afternoon. And the little potatoes getting up above the grow lights I have set for all these carrots and onions down below here. Yeah, carrots and onions, and there we go. Both of these. Lettuce back there is doing pretty good. And then I got basil on either side of my shoulders there, right here. And up here, I got a bunch of sweet yellow Spanish onions in both those 2 containers. Okay. Okay. Whenever, you know, Dustin. And let's see. Oh, one other plant I got. And I got the rainbow chard. Ooh. Actually, that thing's doing a lot better. I took it out and put it outside for a couple days. And we were having some chill on it. And it likes the chill, you know, getting down into the upper 30s. You know, not freezing, but just getting down to upper 30s and stuff. And it really hardened up and started doing a lot better. Hey, Emma, how's it going? Grammy, Karen, Cecilia, hey, how you all doing? Okay, Alicia's working on tomatoes, beets, and strawberries. Oh, the other day, 2 days ago, I went out and double checked on the strawberries. What looked like some greenery that had survived about a month ago. It looks like most of the strawberries have died off except for one of them, and one of them was sending out some new stuff. So hopefully that'll work. Oh yeah, I know, Emma. Where is it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. I prefer rain over snow, especially in the springtime, because the rain soaks in, gets down into the aquifer, and refills the aquifer and everything. The snow, when it's that cold for snow and it gets below freezing, it's like an ice cube in your freezer. It slowly evaporates away. It doesn't soak into the ground. And so, even though we may wind up with a bunch of snow, but if the winds start blowing and stuff and it just starts disappearing off the top and it's not melting down in. So, yeah, it gets bad. Hey, Katie, how's it going? Yeah, then they would have made it more if I hadn't got caught off guard by that first snow. I was getting ready to break open a bale of straw and just cover them with straw. And it snowed right on top of them. And it snowed about, that much on them. Boom, boom. And it's like crap. And so I didn't even try to go out there, because once the snow's on them, you don't want to touch the leaves or anything, because that'll, it's like frostbite, and it just, screws them up bad. And so, yeah, so basically what I'm going to be doing is here, let's take a look over. I'm going to switch screens here over to the weather. Okay, so, oh, wow. Okay. Until 9 p.m. tonight, we have lake wind advisory out, and also thunderstorm watch. Then tonight, rain start. It doesn't say when they start. I'm thinking probably around about 10 o'clock Mountain Time till 4 a.m. Then it's going to, after 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, it's going to be rain and snow showers likely. Also some thunderstorms possible. The low is around 35. So it's not getting below freezing. So there's a chance of precipitation is 90%, little because it's above 32. It's actually at 35 as the low. So, and what's interesting, it said the high today is 58, was projected. We're at 61 according to the map here. I mean, the thing here, and my one outside here said it was at 63. So, woo! Hey, Swafford Homestead. Don't you just love, Swaffers, don't you just love the way YouTube's treating me here on the posts and links and stuff? For those who didn't catch what's going on, I put out a video on gray man prepping, showing using some of my long-term preps, and I made a beef and potato soup. And I don't know what's going on, but when I tried to put the link on my community tab over here on Camppatton Family Compound, it wouldn't show the thumbnail. And I tried it several times, wouldn't do it. Okay. And several people watched. I got up about 29, 30 views when all of a sudden, boom, YouTube took it down. They didn't take it down, delete it. They just turned it so it was not visible. So I went back in and I reset set it to private, set it back to public, and some people started watching it. Then they did it again. And I did that 3 or 4 times, but I froze. And I noticed though, hey, Anthony, how's it going? And I noticed if I went, instead of using the link to go to the video, if I went to Gray Man Prepping and clicked on the videos tab, it was there and it would play. So I don't know what was going on. Several people say, yeah, they could play it that way, but it was, I mean, YouTube just, I guess, doesn't like beef and tomatoes, like Swafford said. It's like beef and potatoes. I mean, hey, what's wrong with that for soup? Of course, maybe it was the fact that in the description, I had the quote there from Captain Crazy, and it said, at a press conference earlier this spring, President Biden said we will have food shortages in America. Unless that's the thing that, oh, you can't say that. Well, I'm just quoting the president. Anyway, so yeah. It's the last time I checked here, it was playing over there. Let me double check something here real quick here, and let's see if it's if the link's still working. This is gonna be interesting. Community tab. Read more. Okay, and oh, interesting. It says the page isn't available now. You can't even from the community tab. You can't even go to Gray Man Prepping. But if I go to Gray Man Prepping here, yep, there it is, and it plays. I don't know what it is. It must. Maybe YouTube doesn't like being called out on. Yeah, that is so weird here. Yeah. On the community, because all it says there on the community tab, just posted a prepper pantry video on Green Man Prepping. Prepper pantry number 1, beef and potato soup. And for some reason, YouTube won't show the thumbnail, and YouTube has changed visibility to unavailable, and now it's saying that page is not available. But I just went to that page, so yeah. YouTube, for some reason, does not want anyone going to Camppatton Family Compound here to find the video that's over here on Gray Man Prepping. I just don't know what they're doing. But hey, my subscriber count's still going up. At least they're not knocking it down. Well, see, actually, JC, if you just go to Gray Man Prepping, it's fine. They're canceling out the Camppatton Family Compound community tab. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? But that's weird. I mean, Anthony, yeah, if someone reported the video, if they read all the content, but there's nothing to report since it is an actual statement from his press release. But yeah. Jay may have it right. Someone is oversensitive about potatoes being in soup. I think it's something against Camppatton Family Compound's community tab there, because it works everywhere else. So you just can't get there from the community tab. So I'm gonna have to rewrite and tell everybody just go straight there and don't even bother trying to use the link. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, in the video itself, all I talked about was the recipe and doing it. And I didn't even mention food shortages in the recipe while I was doing it. Yeah. And it could be that someone sour one there, as you're saying, Anthony. That could be the one that's, how do I say it without really saying it? There's someone that's been harassing a lot of the homesteading channels and stuff, because they won't let him do stuff on their stuff, and he's been reporting things, and he actually hacked into Courtney at White Family Farm before she got a VPN and some other stuff. So anyway, so if anybody wants to come on up, I put the link in there once before. Let me see if I can drop it in there again. And we will talk about how your plant's going, how your garden's going. I'd love to hear from Anthony if the little one's not keeping him too busy there, where he's just barely able to chase her around the room while he's texting. I mean, commenting on, using his. And it froze again. Yeah, well, I don't even know how to get it reviewed. They haven't sent me any things about it saying why it was that they blocked it or they took it down. But it was only off of Camppatton Family Compound. You could go to it directly and find it, no problem. So I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to be starting to chip some cantaloupe seeds and some cucumber seeds tomorrow. And I in the house here, so I'll be working on it. So and then I give it a couple weeks for them to grow up. I'm gonna put them in the little 3-inch pots and get them going and stuff. And then when I plant them outside, since we expecting to have freezes and frosts until the end of the month, I'll be using the wall of water. And so we'll see what happens as far as getting those things growing out there. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Going to be coming up here. Hey, Ginger, how's it going? Listening from my back pocket. Oh, you got the phone stuffed in your back pocket in the Bluetooth going. Okay, Anthony, a couple minutes is fine. Just let us know what's going on. Cool. And also tell us how the little one's driving you up the wall. I know my grandsons are driving me up the wall today too. But hey, I'd rather have them drive me up the wall than not being able to see them. And what's strange is the oldest one, not the oldest, well, the oldest one will too. When I say hugs, Eli will come up. He turns backwards, put his backs up against me so I can hug him, that way. Aiden, the next one down, will come up and Jay, I am not going there. I'm not putting that comment up. Aiden, the number 2, will come up and he'll give me a hug anytime. Danny, who used to be the biggest hugger, no. And Oliver, I just hold I don't have to say hug, I just hold my arms out, and he comes over, biggest smile, comes over, dances in front of me, then lunges and grabs my legs. When Danny decides he wants to hug, he'll come up, he'll get toys in his hand, come up, give me one hug, and then start beating on my legs with the toys. And look up at me and just smile, the cutest smiles, like, why are you beating on me? And he goes, hugs. And he just hits me with the toys. But, so, I got, like I said, you can see there, these carrots here, I've spaced them out to about 1 inch apart, and they're just solid in there. And here he is. Hey, how's it going, Anthony?
How you doing, man?
Did her fever finally break and everything's doing good with her now?
Yeah, she was. It was weird because she was just it was like a low-grade fever, but she was just really cranky. And I'm the type, or my kid's the kind of kid that wants to play and do her own thing. And when she kind of cuddles on you, she doesn't feel good. So
yeah,
she was cuddling on me.
I know. With our 3 kids, we had a daughter and 2 boys. The daughter had the most growing pains, even when she was little. She'd get a little fever, cranky and stuff, and her legs were hurting.
That's what I'm kind of thinking that happened.
Yeah, and so just a little spurt, but she's the only one who really had the leg pains. Neither of the boys did. Of course, the middle boy, he's the one that's looks down on me now. So how's your garden doing?
It's actually going pretty well. I just went out there and pulled a couple more strawberries out before I come inside. The slugs have been the biggest issue I've had so far this year. Every year
has it been extremely wet there this year, this spring?
About 3 weeks ago. Okay, I planted my corn. This was the worst part. I planted my corn at the end of March, knowing that I was rolling the dice because it was a little earlier than I wanted to, but we had gotten 2 weeks of 70s in the daytime and 50s at night. I know this kind of corn that I planted can germinate during that, so I wasn't too worried about that. But then all of a sudden, we got 2 freaky storms, one of them that lasted 2 days that literally dumped 6 inches of rain on us. And then another one a week and a half later that dumped 4 inches of rain on us. So I had to go out there in the middle of the second one and dig trenches out the backside of the rows just to get the water away from the rows of corn. And I think that kind of stopped a lot of the germination I wanted from not just the corn, but almost everything. Because I planted a bunch of peanuts, those didn't come up. I planted a bunch of lima beans, those didn't come up. So I think it just oversaturated everything. And also, early April showers aren't 80-degree rain. It's low 60s, kind of cool rain. So that's probably what happened.
Yeah. I got somebody popping up down below here. I'm not sure I want to bring him in. Mr. burgles. It says he looks like he's wearing a Halloween mask. So, I'm not sure who that is, and if I don't know you, I'm not letting you up here.
There you go. Might be a troll. Who knows?
Yeah, but and it's like you got that much rain and stuff. That's probably was a big boon to all of the slugs and snails and stuff.
Well, that's what. Okay, the one bed that I built is like a T shape raised bed. I put it about 16 inches off the ground, about 15 inches, 14 and a half, 15 inches off the ground. And I had to dump full, I layered it. I do the layer system when it comes down to filling up my bed. So I'll do like a cardboard, leaves, soil, some dirt from around the property, chicken, manure, all kinds of stuff. And I let it sit for a couple months to kind of meld together, let the worms do their thing. But the weather has been so weird. Like it's been below average temperature wise until, mid-March.
Right.
So I don't think it got to properly decompose the way I wanted it to. How about that?
Right.
So you still got a bunch of roly-polies and slugs in there that are eating the leaf matter that I put down.
Right.
So those are going, they're already in there. So it's, okay, so we're going to go after your beans. Because I was planting beans first to, help building a little bit of mycorrhizal, a little bit of fungi to help other plants after the fact. So the fact that there's already roly-polies, because they will eat your seedlings, and so will slugs. They're already going after some of that leaf matter. It was just a losing battle, so I had to break it and use some iron phosphate baits, which work really well for slugs. But I usually don't like doing that, and it's completely organic. But like I said, I do it like reluctantly, but I had to do it this time because that wasn't it wasn't good when I kept losing all my seedlings and some of the transplants that I had put, had started 6 weeks earlier. They killed those too. So.
Oof. Yeah, when it's 6 weeks old, that really hurts.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've been going almost 2 months on like 3 pepper plants I put out there. And I'm like, they're not going to mess these pepper plants. Wrong.
Wow.
Took them right down.
I just thought of something. When I was in Kathy, North Star Prep Setters in her side chat the hour before here, and someone was asking about the squirrels and stuff. And one of the things we do in California, we know it's going to be dry for several a week or so. We'll get the big container of cayenne pepper flakes and the cayenne pepper powder, and we'll sprinkle that across the top of the fence where the squirrels like to run, and it chases them off. I wasn't sure if sprinkling that around some of the seedlings might help keep some of the sow bugs and the other ones away from it.
Unfortunately, I did the same battle last year, and it only happens when I build a new bed. Like when I have the other beds that have been established for a little while, everything just is melded together just fine. I don't really get these issues. It also doesn't help that I mulch heavily to keep my soil like moist, and that's like the perfect place for them to hide. Right. So what I ended up doing was I put some iron phosphate down, especially on my strawberries, because I wasn't getting any strawberries. And so then I had to pull all the mulch off to the side, let the sun kind of hit it, and that really helps. But when it comes to soil, you don't want to leave it bare because it's just like, soil's like, how I put it. If you can put mulch over it, it's like a skin.
Right.
It protects the dirt. You don't want to leave it like a wound open.
Yeah, you don't want to have the soil bare.
So if you can put a mulch down, some plant matter, something down to stop the sun from just baking that soil, because all that's what's going to happen, especially now. This week is supposed to be in the 80s, and all it takes is about 2 days of that, and then all of a sudden you can't get anything through that, even like good quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, even good quality soil.
Yeah, I know. Once we get into like the second week of June, if we don't have, we have a couple weeks to get stuff in the ground going. From the last frost before about the middle of June.
Oh,
and I froze.
There you go.
The middle of June or so before the ground starts getting hard, because that's when it starts getting temperatures. There's a big influx in temperature from the last week of May where we get some frost, to being up in the 70s and 80s by the middle of June. And you either got to use a lot of water to keep the ground moist, give it a chance to go, or you got to put something out there. And I do have a bunch of bales of straw that I picked up last summer, and I got them for like $3 a bale. And these
That's what I use.
Full size, and just start breaking it out and just start spreading it out. And that's the only thing that really helps keep it moist. The only bad problem is, I don't know how long ago they planted it. They planted a box elder tree on this property right next to where the irrigation ditch was. And the worst part was, if it were a male box elder tree, it wouldn't be that bad. But it's a female box elder tree, which attracts all the bugs. All the box elder bugs come to the female box elder tree. They won't go to a male box elder tree, but they'll go to the one. So they come to that thing, then they start going off everywhere, and it's just it's been a battle we've been fighting. My daughter, since she's running it over there and stuff, she's volunteered to take that tree down. I said, fine, you convince your mother, and it's okay with me. So
when it comes down to leaving your soil bare, and I mean, I know like a lot of people in certain climates can't do it. Like Reed over in New Mexico, he actually told me if he puts anything like a mulch down, it hurts him. I'm assuming it has something to do with the transpiration effect of the water evaporating, kind of cooling the leaves. Because if he has a mulch down, that doesn't happen, then his plants burn up. But for me, in my area, it's so humid and all that other stuff. If I don't have a mulch down, what ends up happening is that top layer of dirt crusts over, and the next rain, it doesn't penetrate. It's weird. Like it acts like a little dome, and the water just runs off the side of it instead of actually penetrating. So if you can put something over it, then it'll shield that dirt, and then you'll get all the water, even from a small little thunderstorm that maybe takes 30 minutes. You'll still get like a good water effect versus when you have a skin over the top, that the hard piece, nothing's even going to penetrate. So you can stick your finger down there and it's dry, even after a storm.
Yeah, I know with Reed's soil down there, he has a lot more sandy soil than you or I have. Too. And so, so that allows, I mean, we probably have a little bit more clay in our soil than he does.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you get the clay in there, the clay and stuff on there, and it's bare. That's what bakes hard and makes it hard for stuff to come through.
Yeah, me.
All right, Emma ordered a green stock today. Oh, they're having their Mother's Day sale? Okay. Make a note here to call my wife. Because I know she got the 2-pack last year, and I need to make sure. Call Chris Greenstock, because that way, if it's on sale, she'll spend the money to get it. And she said it's just doing absolutely great, the one she has. Mother's Day sale. Okay. Got it. Sometimes, hey, guys, my brain ain't all that good no more. That's why I got a notepad.
I'm 35 and I'm having problems remembering things that I should have had an issue or shouldn't have an issue remembering. So I have a little notepad on my phone. That thing is just chock full of stuff. Oh
yeah. I mean, it's like, that's one of the I think that's one of the reasons one of the small reasons I decided to retire a year earlier than I normally would have. It's just that, with all that stuff at DHS getting crammed in my head and everything else, it's like, crap, I got to get out of here. I can't think. I'm starting not to remember that stuff. And so I just, got out of here.
Yeah. It's just one of the things, obviously when you deploy and come back and just your mind's all jumbled, and just slowly started forgetting things. So I have to constantly write things down. And I used to be so sharp. I could remember things from 3, 4, 5 days ago, like vividly. Now I feel like Joe Biden when I'm trying to remember something. I'm like,
oh yeah. Okay, let's see here. Let me all right, so we got so we got Joe at Garden State Gardeners in the house, and How to Garden is in here. Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome.
Better put a reminder to get the wife's. No, actually, she does not like me getting buying a Mother's Day card or a Christmas card or birthday card. If I can find a real cool picture to send her an email, she likes that better because I didn't spend any money for it. All right, and we got someone else down here not showing his face and weird network 126, whatever. Nope, sorry, don't know you. Not bringing you up here. So let's go ahead and let's see what that says. I can do this without adding him to the stream. There you go. He's gone. He's been kicked. Yeah.
I just got done canning today. I had to pressure can 7 quarts of chicken stock I made yesterday.
Oh, cool. I got the part to repair my mom's 21 quart Presto quart. You know, one of the handles on the lid had gotten broken. And so I finally found where I could order it cheap, and it came today. Actually, I got it cheaper off of Amazon than I could off the Presto website. And so they actually will sell me one handle, not try to sell me a set.
Yeah, I've been this year is one of those years where I tried to grow a whole bunch of new stuff that I hadn't done before, mainly because I did the whole grain conversation a couple months ago on my channel.
Okay, I got to do something here. Hang on here. Okay, and boom. There we go. Sorry, start getting political on me. You're gone. And like I said, when I put the link out there, the links are out there for the ones I know. Anthony, Emma, how to Garden State Gardener, Howie when he was in here, CR.
Yeah. You can't just randomly come on someone's stuff who doesn't know you. Why would I put you on my channel if I didn't know you?
Yeah.
You could come on there and say something crazy and then get my stuff flagged. Now, why would I do that?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was with Will. You know, I was in Will's chat for a month before he brought me up beforehand, and we talked beforehand before the stream, before he let me up there. And then he taught me a whole bunch of stuff about running StreamYard. Yeah, that's one thing about getting back to gardening is I'm going to miss about California. My wife's had stuff planning 4 months ago.
Well, and I planted like 3 things in the garden in November.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't have like a off season like y'all do.
Yeah. There's some things she grows year round, and there are the new stuff she started about 4 months ago. And there are some things that, like some of her plants, you know, they keep just growing all year round. Her thyme, her even her rainbow chard. You know, if she doesn't get a hard frost, it'll keep growing all the way through the winter.
Is chard a biennial? I can't remember.
Chard is weird. Chard, you plant chard, it'll grow up. If it gets a really hot spell, boom, it bolts, seeds, and that's it. If you can keep it plucked down and everything else, it just stays and keeps producing. If you don't get it if it doesn't get too hot, and if you like, my wife grows it in the shade of the catalpa tree there in California, and so it doesn't get the noonday sun. It gets morning light coming in and evening light coming in. And produces more than she can eat, and so she's giving it away to the neighbors all the time.
A lot of those greens, it's funny because you figure, you know, green, I need sun, but I know I grow lettuce in the shade all the time. My lettuce, the only one that's still alive right now, is actually behind my potato plants, so it doesn't get any morning or afternoon sun. The only sun it gets is the evening. Right. And it's butter crunch lettuce, and I just ate some last night. So,
unfortunately, Steve, I said that's one of the things I miss from them. Language break, Steve. But I the other stuff up here, the summer does not get as hot up here as it does in California. My rainbow chard last year did not bolt at all. It was perfect temperature for it, and it was just I mean, like I said, I was pulling that stuff off there every other day, pulling it back because it was just growing like that constantly. And the rabbits and the chickens across the street were just loving it. And so,
yeah, the unfortunate side for me when it comes to greens, I can't grow them for about 8 months out of the year because there's too many chances of 80, 90-degree days that randomly pop up. I mean, we're going to hit 90 on Thursday, and it's only May. And I've had plenty of 90-degree days in October. So that'll make anything bolt. And it's very hard to keep things alive without a shade cloth. So the best time to grow them is literally during the wintertime. But unfortunately for me, my garden, I only get maybe 5 hours of sun, direct sun in the wintertime. So
I'm just opening up the blinds here on the windows. So I hear a noise out there, and I can hear the wind just blowing like the son of a gun out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the big old trees just swaying out there. My mom, she passed away in 2007, but during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, she had raised planter beds that my brother and I had built for her. And when she tried to grow lettuce, even in California, we had a big mulberry tree there. She planted in the planter closest to the mulberry tree, and even then, she had us build a little frame that she put cheesecloth over the top of it, because otherwise the lettuce would just.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem I had when I grew. I tried growing broccoli and I tried growing Brussels sprouts, and I mean, my Brussels sprout, it was like a tree. That thing was, 4 feet tall, and it was just starting to put out sprouts. And all of a sudden, we got a hot March day where it was like 85, and all of a sudden, the little flowers start popping up. And I said, well, there goes all my hard work, my 4.5 months of work. I was finally about to start getting some Brussels sprouts when we get that freakishly hot day that just made the plant bolt. And it wasn't one of those things where you could just, snip it off and kind of save it. Once it goes, it goes.
Yeah. That's, I mean, it's just, with the way things are going, I want to put more of a garden in, but I'm still going to be making a couple trips to California. I don't want it dying while I'm gone. But I also got a contractor to come out here and give me an estimate for pouring concrete for the driveway. So it's not all muddy. And well, even though it's got rock in it, the water just kind of settles and stuff, and just, it's bad in the wintertime. And the back patio, which is about 10 foot wide and 50 foot long along the side of the house there, split in the middle, because when the guy poured it, that it was here before, he had a guy come in and grade everything with a motor blade, and they didn't compact it before they poured the soil, because basically it's like it was here and it kind of tapers off with the lawn going down a little bit, and that edge there they didn't compact, and it went clink.
Yeah. So
they're going to come in and they gave me decent prices. I expected to be twice as much as what they gave me, and they're going to come in and they said they were going to remove it. I said, don't worry about removing it. I'm getting an excavator and I'm just going to pull it out and pull the concrete out. I just need you to, do the base, the base stuff, work on it and get it up and compacted and stuff. And so they're going to get that. So those are the two things I'm going. So they're actually going to pour the back patio. Instead of 50 foot, they're going to add an extra 30 feet onto it. So it goes all the way to the end of the house, and they're going to make it 12 foot wide. And so give it a little bit more room for the kids to ride, the grandkids to ride their bicycles back there. But once that's in, then I can put my like I did last year. I took the 55-gallon barrels I'd cut in half. These are only 30 gallon. So I had 55-gallon ones out there, had tomatoes growing in it, and I had a couple of cantaloupe growing in some of them. And I want to get those back out there, but that's not going to be this winter. I mean, this summer. It's not
Well,
going to be. Yeah.
Was it? It's funny because the whole grain experiment that I've been doing this year,
Mm-hmm.
it's really kind of benefited me because a lot of the things that I thought, I guess I had the whole like traditional garden mindset where if you don't go out there and water like at least every other day, in the heat, you're done, you're toast. Well, a lot of these grains, surprisingly enough, like buckwheat and my
Mm-hmm.
wheat, I haven't really watered like at all. And it just kind of let the rain do the thing. And, granted, we've had at least one rain about every 8 days. So it's not
Mm-hmm.
like they go too dry, but I'm
Right.
having to water my fruit trees 3, 4 times in between these and they're fine. Like my wheat is still standing straight up just fine. My buckwheat is starting to flower now. And I have basically neglected the buckwheat. So I'm very much impressed. If you want to grow some stuff that's like, uh, you know, decent in calories, but not very much work, I would definitely look into, growing some of those kind of things. Cause, the vegetable garden, yeah, it's kind of nice to have these big giant, cucumbers that are 95% water, or squash that are, 80% water, but
Yeah.
grow something kind of small that still gets you a whole bunch of food without having to do all this labor and water. Might have
Oh,
to think
yeah.
about that, especially considering circumstances.
And I got a 5-pound bag of sweet sorghum over here that I'm going to try to plant across the street at the 5-acre parcel. We try to just do a little bit of it just to see if I can get it going and get it. I'm just going to let it grow and go to seed and seed there. If it grows good, seed the area again for next year naturally. And
Well, I know I sent Tyler, what was it, the black hulless barley in Idaho. That thing grew fantastic, even when it hit like 100 for a couple of days, and it was just doing its little seeding spot. So it grew perfectly fine. So I know for a fact you can grow barley there, no problem. I want to look into that too.
looking getting in barley. Now I know they grow a lot of they rotate the big fields around here. They'll do potatoes one year. Trying to remember the order, but basically they do potatoes, sugar beets, and alfalfa, and they rotate them.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one they water a lot is the sugar beets.
Makes sense. Got to develop the sugar.
Yeah, the potatoes they water not quite as much, and I mean a little bit more than no, not quite as much as the sugar beets, and they hardly water the alfalfa at all. So because I guess the grasses and stuff have deep roots. They just go.
Alfalfa here is, I mean, it's in the middle of summertime. There's no irrigation whatsoever, and they're still rolling up alfalfa hay.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, we can go 2-3 months without having a good rain, and yeah, it turns brown. But as soon as you get one good rain, it greens right up, and then boom, cut it and roll it.
Yeah. Hey, Mary Beth. Last frost was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
I have grown Carolina Reapers. Make sure you put a couple matchsticks down before you plant them, and you will enjoy them.
So why do you put matchsticks down?
The sulfur.
Sulfur. Okay.
You get a little bit of sulfur. I mean, it's a good place to get sulfur, but if you have sulfur, then you can throw it in there anyway. But it helps heat up the plant. The only thing with the Carolina Reaper, it's almost like a determinate tomato. Like I was anticipating to start getting 1, 2, 3 peppers, been like any other pepper plant, like a jalapeno or something. But actually, I put one in a half barrel one time. My last time I grew them, I put them in a half barrel, and I had about 60 at one time. So I was like, well, what am I doing with these? So I made a hot sauce and sold it to all my coworkers.
Yeah. And then once those 60 are done, it's done.
Well, surprisingly, I thought it was done, and I just kind of let it go till it was close to the frost anyway. But it started putting out more. But it didn't put out 1 or 2 and then just kind of have a steady stream. It definitely did, boom, all of them at one time. Yeah. And I picked them all and then started to come again.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this tomato plant right here in the living room here, because all of a sudden it just tomatoes everywhere on it, blossoms everywhere. And when I tried planting one of those last year, it only got a couple feet tall, and that was it. So I have a feeling that's a determinate. Doesn't say anywhere on the package whether it's determinate or indeterminate, but it's a Roma tomato.
Oh, it's determinate then. If it's Roma, it's determinate.
It's determinate. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's good because I like determinate tomatoes because at least you can plan on it.
Yeah. I was I'm not sure how tall it's going to get. It's right now it's about 38 inches tall. I measured it and I froze again. And so that one's about 38 inches tall, and I got probably about 40 or 50 blossoms on it that have appeared in the last week.
Are you shaking it?
I shake it a little bit. I got a little fan that it makes it just kind of move a little bit. Mm-hmm. And actually the first tomato that set on it, there were 3 blossoms. I took a Q-tip that jiggle, and one set, and I got one tomato set on it. And I've tried several of the others, and nothing's happened with any of them setting. And I've been jiggling them and gently blowing on them, trying to get it to pollinate each other. So,
well, fun fact: your tomatoes, like a lot of your nightshades, are from the Americas, and the Americas don't have a native honeybee.
Right.
So the way they're traditionally pollinated is like the big carpenter bees or like the bumblebees, the big giant ones, that buzz by you, going real slow. So it's the vibrations of the wings that actually makes the pollen fall. So if you can kind of simulate that, I like to just go out there with my peppers and my tomatoes and just grab the stalk and just shake like this to try to get some of that pollen to drop. But since you're inside, you don't have any bees at all. That's why I ask.
Yeah, but so that's why I was saying several people had recommended that taking the Q-tip and tap on each one of the pistils or whatever, the flower there, and you just go from one to the next and share it around.
CR, I haven't used the solar dryer this year yet. Still kind of cool when it's actually starting to heat up now over 80s. So I'll be able to start using it again especially for herbs right now. But as of this year, I haven't had a chance to use it because it's been kind of cool.
So what have you found is the drawback to that solar dehydrator?
The heat. It only gets up to the highest I've ever gotten it is about 135, maybe 140 on the hottest day. When I say the hottest day, I'm talking about it's already 100 degrees outside. So because the angle I kind of put it at, maybe if I would have put a little bit more of an angle like this instead of like this, I would have put maybe like a 120 angle instead of or I'm sorry, I'm talking about. Then maybe I could have got more sun exposure inside. But I guess the black that I painted in there, you have to keep rotating it. You have to keep monitoring it because the sun moves. So if I'm not out there paying attention, like literally sitting out there working with it, then it'll cool down if I get any kind of shade. So that's kind of the biggest drawback I got. If I wish I would have been able to put it on some sort of, I'm glad I put it on casters so I could at least just move it. It would have been a pain in the butt if I didn't do that, but it's really good for herbs for sure. If I'm trying to dry out my garlic that I just harvested, I could throw that in there, no big deal. Same thing with my onions. But when it comes down to fruits, especially high water concentrated fruits like apples, it takes 2 days.
Now it's all this is heat only. There's no powered air movement to it, is there?
No, it's just using the effect of the stack effect.
Right.
So I got the inlet down at the bottom, and I got 3 holes up top, or 5 holes up top that I blocked off too. So I'm using that as a way to let the air move, and the air actually does move pretty well. It almost moves too well. That's why I blocked up 2 of the holes to try to increase the heat.
Okay.
So
I say if you weren't getting good airflow, someone had I forget what channel we were on, suggested getting I think it was Courtney may have suggested it, getting some computer fans and one of those little Harbor Freight solar panels about that big, just to get airflow. But
airflow works fantastic. I think it works almost too well, honestly. Right. But if the area that I had it, say if I was in the middle of a field, or I didn't have trees around me because I live in the South, so I'm surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
If I didn't have as many trees as I have, I think I'd have a little bit easier way because the area that I put it really only gets direct sun after about 10 o'clock.
Mm.
So I got from 10 till maybe 5, 6 o'clock before it hits the other side of the trees. So that's just not a long enough time to really get something going. By the time it heats up fully, it's already noon, and I'm still having to move it 3 or 4 more times before actually the sun doesn't hit anymore. I just don't have enough sun exposure, unfortunately, in that area.
Yeah.
Because even my normal garden, my garden that I plant all my stuff, I'm literally sitting here, maybe getting 6 hours of sun, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I noticed right now. The up here in Idaho, the angle of the sun is going up really quick.
Yeah.
The front windows that you can barely see the blinds on back there is there are 3 windows there. So they're like, one square over the house, one angle back. So it's like a little mini bay thing, but only out like 6 inches protrusion. So you got 2 of them are angles and one straight across. And as the sun comes up, it'll hit the one, but it doesn't hit it in straight on enough, so it starts hitting the plants inside till about noon. Then because they're slowly going, all of a sudden it's like, and it's like, what the hell happened? And by 4 o'clock, it's already off the plants again on the other side, even from the other windows and stuff. So it's for the indoor thing, using it for indoor is going to be a problem. But the only good thing is that once the sun gets up to the point where there's no shade on the north side of the house, at about 10 o'clock, it starts hitting all my raised planter beds, and it hits them all the way through till the sun sets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but right now, they're in the shade because they're on the north side of the shop. So it's blocking them right now.
Yeah, that's not good for trying to heat the soil up that you need right now, but it's really good if you have a hot climate and you need to keep things kind of cool in the summertime.
Yeah. It's really interesting is that this year, talking to everybody is really weird.
It is weird. It's weird here.
We've had some really cold days, colder than normal, but a lot less snow after February.
Well, it snowed here for the first time in 4 years. And that's the weird part for me is we're not used to getting snow, and I got 4 inches of snow. And usually when I'm going turkey hunting, it's warm enough to the point where I don't need any kind of base layer underneath my camo the opening day, which is April 1st. Right. And I was still hunting April 15th in base layers because it was still so cold. So it had the turkey going all weird. They weren't gobbling. It had the fish going all weird. They're not biting. Just a weird spring for sure.
Yeah, that's my sister's down in Texas, little town called Spring, right outside of I think San Antonio. But they were expecting, the way the weather was going in December and January, they were expecting another apocalyptic winter, and they didn't get it. So they were happy about that. Got Dwayne Bruce Campbell. What's his name? What's his YouTube channel? Grandpa, I'm having a brain fart here. He's just joined us over there on Facebook.
Well, howdy.
Yeah. He used to be in the side chat for on Will's channel. That's where I met him and subscribed to him.
Kaylin, the best part about, I know it sounds kind of weird to say because like everybody's like, you need full sun. You're not going to get anything if you don't have full sun. You'd be surprised at how many things like a little bit of part shade. So my full-grown tomatoes may not put out quite as many tomatoes, but the cherry tomatoes are absolutely insane. Same with my hot peppers. They love that little bit of shade they can get. So the only thing that kind of doesn't like it is like my corn. That's why I put it over on this side of the house so it gets way more sun. But my main garden, the most I'm going to get is about 6.5 hours, which is why I got to cut more trees. And it's like a never-ending cycle of cutting trees.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Yeah, so it's Grampy Campy's Bear Creek Homestead is Dwayne. Yeah, there's who's I don't know if you've been following any of the others out there. You know, I mean, you're so busy anyways. You know, with work and the little princess running around.
My God, she takes up so much of my time. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm trying to teach her all the stuff outside and trying to get her to do everything. But it's just, I have full respect for every stay-at-home mother out there, period.
Yeah. Jack is in the house through Jack's camera. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, my daughter, when she was little, I mean, it's like when she wanted to take a nap, and if I was home that day, it would be, she'd grab my hand and take me over to the couch, and she had me sit on the floor in front of the couch, lean back against the couch, she'd crawl up on me, and so I'm stuck there for an hour. But I tell you, it's some of the greatest stuff.
I already missed that. She would always nap on me, and I'd always be like, man, I can't get anything done, but I need to take advantage of it, while she wants to. And sure enough, a few months ago, when she starts getting tired, she just gets like mean. She just starts throwing her toys around and just starts getting whiny. She's 20, she'll be 22 months the 11th. So she's that full toddler stage, and she, even when she's sick, she really doesn't want to sleep on me anymore, and like it just breaks my heart. But
yeah, my youngest grandson just turned 2, and I think about 2 weeks ago was the first time I got him to take a nap over here at my house. And so I mean it was he crawled up in my big king size bed. He's looking around, crawled underneath the blankets. Okay, what are you doing? And he's sleeping. It's like, dang.
Yeah, I don't. My kid doesn't want to sleep in my bed. It's kind of funny. She has her own little area, and when she's ready to go to sleep, you just put her down and kind of just walk away because she's got her own little method of self-soothing and all that stuff. But
yeah, that's the way they are across the street. And when Oliver needs to go down, take him in there. They got 2 bunk beds in there for the 4 boys. He goes on one of the bottom bunks. You put him up in there. You throw his real fuzzy. It's like a little fuzzy quilt with a bunch of little tie fuzzies on it. And you toss that up on him, and he'll pull that up over his head, and he goes out.
Yeah, my kid's all about her little Winnie the Pooh. She always puts them right here on her nose. She'll just suck on her passy on her nose, and then she'll slowly start drifting off. So I love it. It's just one of those things where now she's trying to fight nap time because she's learning so much. So all the weeding I could get in the garden I'm trying to do would be when she's napping. Well, now she only naps like 40 minutes. So I'm like, I can't do anything I need to get done.
Everybody say hello to Kathy. She's buzzing through.
Howdy.
Yeah. The one of the things I did learn from Kathy was on my onions up here. They were falling over. I mean, they grow up and fall over. And she was showing her, you take them up and you give them a haircut. And after 3 haircuts, now they're all up tall, 8-10 inches tall, really stiff and solid and growing great.
I've never grown onions inside. I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but whenever I've grown onions and I have seeds, I just take the seeds in my hand and I just, whatever grows. And usually it's always in a pretty good spot.
What I'm doing with these here is, because onions are basically a 2-year. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them grow up till they get, crowded in those trays. And they're ready to be transplanted outside. And then I'll space them outside and get them going in another 2 months, 3 months or so here. And then this winter, just cover them with straw and just let them sit. And then next spring, they'll go from this size to that size.
Is it do you have long day onions?
I'm not sure. These are just ones I just grabbed. I grabbed these 3 years ago, the package 3 years ago at Home Depot, sweet yellow Spanish onions.
Probably long day because the problem I have in my area is I live south of the Mason-Dixon. So I have to use at least a day neutral, if not a short day onion.
Yeah.
And last year I grew a day neutral in a Stuttgart that worked out fairly well. And I left a few in there to see how big they get now. And now I got big onions because I left like 5 or 6 of them in there. I wanted them to go to seed, but I put down some, was it Texas grano onions or something? They're short days, and they are just growing so fast. So it's one of those things a lot of people don't realize, I guess, whenever you're planting onions, kind of got to pay attention to your latitude whenever you pick out onion seeds.
Yeah. What's interesting is, so this will be the 3rd spring. I planted some in one of my in one of my IBC totes across the street. And so 22 and 20. Yeah. And, hardly anything at all. And it was in the fall, and I said, okay, I don't want them to freeze up in these IBC totes. So I harvested a bunch of them, and I missed a bunch. The ones I harvest, I gave to my wife on one of my last trips down to California, and she got, the next spring had a bunch of big ones. Some of the ones I missed there last summer got, about this big around, a couple of them. And I thought I picked them all. Well, turns out I missed one. And it was a little itty bitty scrawny thing, taking the longest time to grow. I just noticed it out here after the snow was all gone, and it's got all the things going on it. And it looks like it's about that big around already. And it was so small last year, I missed it. I couldn't even see it. So it's going to be interesting to see what that onion does.
I left 2 that were like decent size just to see how big they would get. And then I didn't realize how many I missed last year until now. I see them popping up kind of everywhere.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens in my wife's garden this year. Last fall, she let several of them, about 20 of them, go to seed. And so she cut and pulled them all on the front porch, which is about 3 feet above the front yard where she had, front yard is not a yard, it's a garden. Yeah. And so she had it set up there, and that night that windstorm came through. And she had seeds everywhere in the front yard. So we're interested to see how many onions come up everywhere in the front yard.
That's the thing. Well, hold on. What is that comment? Always start your onions aside. Where are you at? It all depends on where you're located. Because
that's Nate.
Yeah.
So Nate, what state are you in?
Yeah, it all depends on where you're located. Because I've noticed for me, there's a lot of things that I like to direct seed if I can. Because onions, they don't mind a frost even when they're young. So I can put them down in February. The only problem I have is I forget where I put them, so I start transplanting other things, and I'm like, crap, I got onions in the way. So I kind of got to be strategic where I put my transplants. That's why nothing's ever in perfect little blocks. It's always kind of just blah.
Yeah, they kind of get carried over farther than what you wanted them to. I mean, that's what it was when I did these carrots here. I was trying to be very careful in dropping my carrot seeds. Well, when you pinch up a bunch of carrot seeds, and you're trying to as a little bit as you move your hand along, trying to do it.
They got those hairs.
All of a sudden, 5 or 6 shoot out the sides.
Yeah. With carrots, they got those little hairs. And I noticed when I let my carrots go to seed like 2 years ago, and I still planted those. Honestly, when it comes to carrots, I do the same thing with onions as I do with carrots. I just take the handful and just kind of let nature take its course. And it's just funny how things just happen to work that way.
These onions here I planted indoors here that I got in both these big tubs here are the sweet little fingers. They're supposed to be 3.5 inches long, 3/4 inch diameter, and which is perfect for the grandkids. Yeah. They come over. Here's the carrot for you.
I love growing carrots. The only thing with carrots here, I've realized that if I put them down in fall and they go over winter, and then come springtime, if I don't pick them by like April or May, they start to shrivel the root and start to grow the flower stalk. So they think it's 2 years and it's only been 1. So I really got to be like Ricky Tick when I pick them, because if I forget some, they're going to go to seed, and obviously that root's ruined. So.
He's down in Southern California by us. I'm not sure how close to Steve. Steve's down there in LA. So he's down there probably between Uncle Al and Steve, or maybe south of Steve.
Fair enough. Yeah, for my climate, it just works out well if I just take a handful. Because honestly, when it comes to onion seeds, you get so many per pack.
Yeah.
If you lose, honestly, if I lost half of them, I really don't care because I'm only going to have 50 or 60 anyway that I'd be thinning out. So.
Yeah, so on these here, the sweet yellow Spanish onions, that's the package I bought 3 years ago, and I planted some. I planted a bunch that first year. Didn't plant anything last year, and I have like 70 of them up here that I chitted that actually sprouted.
Yeah,
and I still got half the package left.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like there's so many of them, when it comes down to it, you're like, okay, it's like lettuce seeds. Like, do you really need to have, 500 lettuce seeds? Because that's 500 lettuce plants. That's going to take away all your space for everything else. So.
Yeah, it's like with the rainbow chart here. This is from seeds that my wife gave me several years ago, and she gave me a sandwich baggie that had about probably an inch tall of seeds in the bottom of it. And what I've noticed on charred seeds, you get this little, looks like a big seed, but it's not. It's a pod with 3 or 4 seeds in it. So where you plant one, you can have either one coming up, none coming up, or 3 coming up at one shot. And it's like, and when you get 3 coming up, you got to be quick. As soon as they start sprouting through, if you want to save them, you got to, break, use soft soil, seeding soil to do it, and then move them to different locations or different other little pots to do it. What I planted, I just planted one seed pod. I had 3 coming up out of it. And since this was just an experiment, I just, cut the other 2 off, and that one's just going fine.
I'm always the guy that likes to overseed, but with the Nate, he grows short day and intermediate onions also. I found that in my area, you're only supposed to technically grow the short days, but the day neutrals I grew last year, they grew excellent. So, like I said, it doesn't matter.
It's raining. The rain has started. Yay! Yeah. So it's we're over. Okay, we've gone over. We've been having a great time here, folks. So I'd like to thank everybody who came in here. We're going to cut it off so Anthony can go back and have fun with his daughter before, or is she in bed already?
No, she's out, and you can't see. She's out, but she's kind of moving around. So
okay,
I got to play sneaky ninja.
Yeah. All righty, folks. Anthony, thank you for coming up here and and sharing the stuff. I know a lot more people should be following you. I mean, Anthony does some great stuff. He's built some great raised planter beds. He has the one with the hinge. I love that one. You put the hinge top on it to protect.
It works great.
Yeah. So, guys, Anthony's Pimento Prepared. If you're not subscribed to him, go over there, subscribe, check him out. Great stuff, great source of information. And especially if you're down there in the Southeast, great stuff there. All right?
I appreciate it.
Before I go here, I just want to shout out, tell everybody what's going on tomorrow. Get it up here. So tomorrow on Gray Man Prepping at 10 Eastern is, are you ready for a super drought? I know some areas, there's a drought. We're getting flooded here. True, but the other areas of the country, I mean, they're like, I know Wendy at Hardknack Farms, they're pulling their hair out because it's been so dry. They've been on fire watch most of the winter. That's how bad it's been there in the part of Oklahoma she's at. California in December Northern California got a ton of rain. And, of course, the great Governor Newsom said, oh, we're going to overfill the reservoirs. Let it all go. Let it all go. January and February, no rain. And so he had to issue a drought proclamation there. Here in Idaho, where we're at, because of last year's low snowpack, and this year we're under a drought watch here. For our irrigation ditch, they're only going to be running it half full. they're only pulling half the amount of water out of the Snake River for us to use. So, and they're saying if you don't have to use it, don't use it. So, we're looking at drought here too. The only good thing is that our city has 2 deep wells for our city water. Of course, we're only a quarter mile square. We only got 450 people in the city, but so we got our well water situation is good. But the more rain we get here, the better the aquifer gets filled up and the fresher our water is here. So tomorrow night is, are you ready for a super drought? Next Monday here on the Monday Night Fireside Chat, we're going to be talking about what are you going to plant and what are you doing to protect your plants that you're planting from any frost. Anthony doesn't have to worry about that. He's got the warmer weather. Yeah.
90 on Thursday. That's what's going to be already. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know Carol at Fishes and Loaves Life is down there in Florida, and they she's already worrying about her stuff being. And I froze. So unfortunately, the United States is so huge. We have different climates all over this country. So trying to match up what everybody needs. But in 2 weeks, the topic is going to be about bees. And so I'm going to try to get a couple. I'm going to try. Don't know if I'll succeed in getting Tim. I'm trying to remember his shoot, just lost it now. He does all sorts of bee stuff. Ridge Life, I think it is, and get him up here, or someone else that does bees and stuff. Talk about stuff. Maybe I can get, depending on if he's working on it, I can get Brett from Broussard Homestead, because they're doing bees and they've had some good and bad times, and they can talk about homesteading, raising bees on a homestead. So that's what we're looking for coming up here. Thank you, Anthony, for coming up.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody else there in the side chat. Rachel says 80 degrees in Hawaii. All right, folks. Thank you for coming in, and we will see you around, and have a good time.
See you later.